The Weeknd just dropped a new single for his upcoming album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, that we've been so patiently awaiting. That will probably be one of his best records, concluding the trilogy and concluding his arc as The Weeknd, as that stage name. Today we'll talk about the new single and some interesting facts about it because it honestly doesn't quite fit the album. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So The Weeknd has been releasing a couple of singles for this new album, but we've just gotten the most recent one that a lot of people were also pretty hyped about because we just got the new single Timeless. It's featuring Playboi Carti. Now, this was the Carti song that you also heard at the Sao Paulo show that he did earlier on this month, which was this huge one-night show where he brought out Playboi Carti. Now, a lot of fans were thinking this song could end up on Carti's album or be a Carti song, but it's now an official The Weeknd song with a Playboi Carti feature, which opens up some weird possibilities about this thing actually being on the finished album. Now, he only released a lyric video from the live performance of this, which actually now in retrospect is pretty cool because if you've seen the live performance, it kind of fits that perfectly. But this song sounds like a Carti song, not only because Carti dominates the first half of the track, which is never a good sign when you have a featured artist and he occupies the first half of your track. We have that happening a lot, but most of the time people are just looking at the featured artist, and it really doesn't fit any of the other singles that we've gotten so far for this project. Or it also doesn't fit any of the two albums that came before this in the trilogy that is now, After Hours Till Dawn. We'll talk about that name a little bit later on because he revealed a little bit more about the trilogy as well. But to me, it seemed kind of weird because if you consider Dancing in the Flames, which was the first single that we've gotten for this thing, which released, a couple of weeks ago as well. I didn't cover it that extensively back when it dropped, but it is a really good single. I like that single. It's a The Weeknd single. We all love it. And I feel like that's definitely something that we would have expected on an album like this. It is still in the same pop, maybe retro pop style that we've had on After Hours. A little bit, melancholic like we've had on Dawn FM, but still has a little bit of a twist to it that makes it unique. It's really hard to explain because the style between all three of these albums is so similar that you can't quite distinguish it, but you can still pinpoint a little bit of the different nuances that each album in the trilogy has. Also, if you consider the trailers, the stuff that we've heard in the trailers, this new single Timeless really doesn't fit any of the stuff that was previewed. And just consider stuff like Take Me Back to LA that was rumored for a long time to be the first single for this thing, and that also doesn't fit that style. So it's really weird that he released this as a single. If it actually ends up on the album, it's still something that we gotta wait and see. Maybe it's just a single that he's released. He's never actually talked about this being on the record on Instagram. He only said it's a new single, but I did ask all this in my question of the day on my Discord, so if you want to join the discussion about this, make sure to join the Discord with the link in the description. Now, I just mentioned Dancing in the Flames. I quickly wanted to mention that I did listen to the acoustic version that he dropped, and that shit is beautiful. You gotta listen to it. So now let's keep going though, because as I said, he revealed something more about the trilogy, which is pretty exciting because that's the overarching theme that we're always talking about with this record. Because he tweeted out on X, on Twitter, a new tweet where he went into a little bit of detail on this, and he said, "Note for EXO, After Hours Till Dawn is the tour name of the entire trilogy." So he's referring to the tour now, and that is because the tour is called After Hours Till Dawn, but he's saying it's for the entire trilogy, which is interesting because in that name, After Hours Till Dawn, we have After Hours, we have Dawn FM Until Dawn, but there's no mention of the new record, which is, if you don't remember, called Hurry Up Tomorrow. He gave us that name a couple of weeks ago as well, because we also got the cover art, for example, of just his face on this, on this cover. And, I had the theory that it's always been a face of his, this trilogy. On After Hours, we've had the kind of rock star persona, on Dawn FM, the purgatory persona, and now we have this more personal Abel, because he's just in a black tank top without any props, no glasses, no old gray hair, just him. I guess that could mean that it's a little bit more personal, a little bit more connected to him now, but that's just a theory. You can tell me what you think about that. But that, it's not represented in the name of the entire trilogy, which is weird, because, shouldn't it have all three titles in the name of the overarching trilogy? Let's wait and see how this all plays out. I still think it's a weird name, Hurry Up Tomorrow. It kind of fits the theme of him After Hours, Dawn FM. It's dawning now, and he wants tomorrow to hurry up to come, for him to get clarity, for him to maybe, move into this afterlife, this new reborn version of him that we've talked about in the interpretation of the trailers. We gotta wait and see. He also did the iHeart Festival in Vegas earlier this month, which was pretty cool. I've seen some clips of that, of him just performing, for example, Take My Breath. That was pretty cool as well. So he's definitely performing a lot live now, and connected to live performances is also the possible release date. Because at some point, when he released those back-to-back-to-back trailers, that trilogy of trailers, we thought it could drop any day. After we got the title then, after we got the cover, after we got the first single plus music video, we thought it would drop any day, but it's looking like it won't drop before November, because he's still on tour right now, or at least he has a little bit of a different tour. We have this Australia tour again, which is obviously called After Hours Till Dawn Global Stadium Tour, as we just talked about, which is still coming up. We have dates for Melbourne on October 5th and 6th, and for Sydney on October 22nd and 23rd. And he did say in an interview that he wanted to complete this tour, go back to that part of the globe before entering a new chapter, so we won't see a release date before this part of the tour is over. So likely not before November. We could then obviously immediately see a release date in early November. And if we take a look at the calendar, a couple of dates that come to mind when you think about this is immediately November 1st. That could be the first Friday after he finishes the tour, and then could also serve as the release date for this. We don't know this for sure. I guess we'll get some more detail. Also, he has a break in between Melbourne and Sydney. There's a possibility of, dropping it there, but that will be unfair to the fans of Melbourne who don't get to experience a new album live. So I'm guessing it will be after that part. So the first possible date that I can see is honestly November 1st. Before November, we're not getting this thing, but I want to know what y'all think about this. When do you think Hurry Up Tomorrow is dropping, The Weeknd's new album? Do you like the title? Do you like the new track, Timeless, with Playboi Carti? Because that is the latest thing that we've gotten in the rollout for this thing. Did you also think it doesn't quite fit the Weeknd album and was more of a Carti song? And do you also doubt that that's actually going to be on the finished product? Let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.